The results of this election are going to come down to a battle for the Rust Belt. Donald Trump has a real chance of winning Rust Belt states and turning them Republican this election cycle for three key reasons. The first reason, of course, is trade. Now, it was these terrible trade deals that gave the Rust Belt its nickname because the factories have rusted, they have been closed, and the jobs have all been shipped overseas, and the American worker has been left behind by the globalists that perpetrated this fraud on the American people. Donald Trump, for his entire career, has opposed these terrible trade deals, and he stands in staunch opposition to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or the TPP, which Hillary Clinton, in keeping with her past support for these free trade agreements, supported during her tenure as Secretary of State. It's true that during the primary, she voiced opposition to the TPP, but as soon as she won the nomination, the Democratic National Committee refused to put into the platform any opposition to the TPP by name. Voters are going to remember this in November, and voters are going to go with the candidate that has a record and a history of standing opposed to bad trade deals, to globalist trade deals, and with a history of standing on the side of American workers when it comes to making these policy decisions. The second reason that I believe Donald Trump has a chance of winning the Rust Belt is law and order. Voters in the Rust Belt are traditional. We value the law, we support our law enforcement officers, and we want to see the law enforced and upheld. The breakdown in respect for authority is a huge problem in our country right now, and voters in the Rust Belt want to see respect for authority restored. There's so much chaos, carnage, and violence in our streets. We have gangs running rampant, drugs are a huge problem, and we're going to stand on the side of a candidate that supports our law enforcement and that wants to see order restored in our country. Donald Trump is that candidate. He has stood on the side of police officers for his entire career before he even got into politics, and he continues to support respect for the law today, and that's going to appeal to the majority of Rust Belt voters. And the third reason, of course, is the Supreme Court. Voters in the Rust Belt, for the most part, believe in an individual right to keep and bear arms. Hillary Clinton does not believe in an individual right to keep and bear arms. The Supreme Court is such a vital issue in this election because the next president will be able to appoint justices to create a majority on the court. We want to see justices that will uphold our rights guaranteed to us in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We don't want these activist judges coming in, ripping the law to shreds, and forcing their elitist, globalist values on the American people. Voters in the Rust Belt believe in the Second Amendment, and we believe that life begins at conception. Hillary Clinton is radically pro-abortion, in keeping, by the way, with the DNC platform, which for the first time in its history has put support for taxpayer-funded abortions into the platform, leading even many Democratic senators to oppose what they have done. For these three reasons, I believe that Donald Trump will win the Rust Belt. And it's time for the people in the Rust Belt, and indeed across this entire nation, to stand behind him as he takes on the globalists and as he restores American sovereignty. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my videos and share them with your friends. This election is very important, and we have to do everything that we can to ensure that Donald Trump wins the presidency.